Well, good morning. November 4th, one day before D-Day, or E-Day, as we should probably say E-Day, Election Day. 10:32 down here, same time up there. We're on the same time schedule now, which is making my life somewhat easier. Yesterday I watched the early games on my Game Pass app. So I got to see all the commercials and advertisements in both games. I watched the Giants game, which they should have won, and I watched the next game, which I forget what it was. I think it was the Detroit game, because I'm confused right now about the timing down here. So don't worry about that. But the point of the matter is, both the two games that I watched were broadcast by Fox, so I got to see all the Fox advertising. There were, I believe, in the neighborhood of 8 pro-Trump ads and 1 Kamala ad at the end of the second game, the late game, the 4 o'clock game, which means it's coming towards dinner time and nobody's really watching it. So that's why that ad was probably put up by Fox, who there has to be something done about Fox and a lot of the other news channels, even the pro-Harris channels. We have to enforce that law of equal time. We have to be able to enforce impartiality onto these people, because Fox is definitely not impartial. You know, they hear Trump's name and they start to masturbate. You know, they're just really out of control. But the gist of the ads that they were showing were that she's the same as Biden was. She did everything Biden did. She's responsible for allowing all the criminals criminal immigrants into this country at the rate of millions a day, which isn't happening. Never did happen at that rate. But anyhow, and that's all untrue. Now, this is what bothers me. You have all the pro-democratic videos and whatnot that show up on YouTube, Midas Touch, the Midas Network, Occupy Democrats, all this stuff, all right? They never want to bring up this simple fact. And I'm not really sure about this, but I'm going to say sometime a while ago, all right, Harris and Biden negotiated a deal with the Republicans on an immigration bill. It was a good bill. Everybody liked it. So it couldn't be bad. If both sides liked it, the Republicans liked it, the Democrats liked it, it was sure to pass. Donald Trump called up the speaker and said to him, don't bring this vote forward. Don't allow this bill to be entered into the, I don't know how you say that, the check for, whatever. Don't allow it in. Don't allow it to be brought up. Table it someplace. Stick it in the garbage can. And the Republicans did this. And then they turn around and blame immigration problems right now. Actually, immigration isn't that bad right now, but they blame whatever problems they have right now on the Democrats. No. It's not even the Republicans' fault. It's Donald Trump's fault. He is the one that didn't want that bill to go through because he wanted to be able to use immigration as a argument for his presidency. That makes Trump the worst kind of scum, putting people's lives at stake for his own benefit. And you think he won't do it again. That's the surprising thing. People think that he's the second coming of Jesus Christ. He's the second coming of maybe Stalin or somebody, I don't know, or Mussolini or Hitler. I have no idea who he's the second coming, but it ain't Jesus Christ, I can tell you that. Trump is the fact that he did that, I mean, that should prove beyond a shadow of a doubt to anybody who's hesitant to go out and vote for Kamala Harris, because he's self-centered. He doesn't care, you know. about anything or anybody but himself, and how whatever he's doing is going to advance his interests, not yours, not the country's, not the world's, just his. And on top of all this, you have Elon Musk, who says, yes, okay, when I get in when Trump appoints me in there to do the budget work, make the expense account cuts and whatnot, I am going to get rid of Social Security and some other things, and that's going to cause some hardship. Okay. Hardship. Well, in my case, it will cause me to become homeless. And life will get really difficult for me. And not that I don't help my family out down here that much. They don't need any help. They're probably not going to help us either, because they can't afford to. So I'm going to lose everything I own. I won't lose my dog. You know, that's not going to happen. But wow. The next thing he says is that later on I saw a statement. These are statements coming off of CNN and MSNBC and CBS and ABC, all the major news networks, Politico, Guardian. Everybody is quoting him as saying the same things. This is Musk now. Musk turns around and says, well, yeah, well, everything's probably going to collapse, but then we'll rebuild it. During that rebuilding time, thousands of Americans will die. Thousands of Americans will lose their homes. Thousands of Americans will lose their jobs. None of these two idiots don't care. They think they're right. It will take more than a year, more than 2 years, more than Trump's administration possibly, to reshape and to rebuild once everything completely collapses. You just don't turn a switch the next day and say, okay, this is the way it's going to be, because he doesn't have any idea. The Republicans are great at making statements. They want to get rid of this. We have something better. What is it? We never get to see, what is this thing that's better? Nobody shows it. They had something better. You could read it. The Republicans supported this, the immigration bill, and Trump didn't want it brought up now because it would interfere with his election goals, because it makes him look bad, and he wouldn't be the one that's doing it. I don't know if Trump will live to see, with the amount of shit that Trump is saying he's going to do, and the amount of people that are going to get hurt by this, and I expect a lot of violence to start soon, as soon as the polls close and what have you. And as soon as the polls close, I guarantee you Trump says he won. Declares himself the winner, and anything else, any other result is false. We're disregarding it. That's it, I won. I can't believe he's still walking the streets. Now, I don't approve of assassinations and violence and all that garbage, but Trump's asking to get shot, not by some amateur, not some by friend of his, not some by Republican. I mean, his political future, his future is about 3 or 4 years long. Okay. If this is assuming he can make it to the end of his term, and he'll have what he'll do is he'll overturn the election. But the problem is, as soon as he does that, he's already served 2 terms, and he's in the office illegally. So he's going to have to overturn the 2020 election. Was it 2020 when he lost? Yeah, he has to make a constitutional amendment that will allow him to serve longer than 2 terms. Oh man. Let's say for a second, let's let Trump say, okay, that election was wrong, and I should have been, and I was the president. Fine. This is just the last time you were a president. It was a 2nd term. You can no longer run. He's an idiot. Doesn't he see that? Doesn't he understand that if he does that, then he's finished? Because he served 2 terms already. You know, this is just getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Actually, I think he served 3. I don't know. Anyhow, every time he opens up his mouth, a stupid comment comes out. But right now, I'm pissed off because nobody is picking up on these ads, and nobody's responding to these ads with the information that I just presented. You can read this information in the archives of any news agency, where Trump made a phone call to the speaker, kept the bill from being introduced, and used immigration, so he could use immigration as an election issue, because he thought he was very strong in immigration. People didn't like immigration. People would have loved this bill. Okay? He distorts facts on the immigration issue. He's done nothing but distort facts. He tells you these murderers and whatnot are coming. The only time that I can say that was proven in immigration that criminals came in was when Fidel Castro emptied the prisons and sent all the people over here. Okay? A lot of them were caught, some of them weren't. Okay? Remember? Meet my little friend. Okay? Pacino's movie. God, this is just so... people have no retention of facts. People don't pay attention to they look at one article or one source of information, and that information is something they what do they say? They use this when they say the cops are fixated on somebody. They have one suspect and they refuse to look at anything else, and they try to prove that suspect guilty. That's exactly what people are doing today. They're looking at things and saying, well, that's not true, this is true. I believe this, I don't believe that. They're not looking at facts. They don't consider them facts. They don't look at their information. Let's say, okay, forget the word fact. They don't look at other information that may or may not coincide with if it doesn't coincide with their point of view. They only focus on that information that proves their point, and all of that information comes out of Trump, from Trump and his supporters. It's not coming from the general journalism population, or whatever you want to call it. I'm a fat old guy sitting in a chair in a small little room down in Colombia, South America, because this is where I could afford to live. And I didn't complain about it. I would have worked longer, and maybe I would have had more money, and maybe I would have retired better up there, but my wife's family was down here. I didn't have a lot of family up there. I lost more of it since I've been down here. I wasn't able to go to my youngest niece's funeral because I couldn't afford it. And right now, the way my wife is spending money, I'm not going to be able to afford to live past, if they cut Social Security tomorrow, I might make it to August, if I'm lucky. I sure as hell won't make it to next Christmas. People, I don't know what to tell you. I'm scared. I see violence starting tomorrow. I see it going on for I don't know how long. I see the possibility of civil war with innocent, ignorant people getting killed on both sides of the situation. People that don't even understand that there's a possibility that their side could be wrong will die. Innocents will die. Women and children will die. That's what I see. Is that a horrible thing to say? Are people all upset with me now? Is everybody just switching off my video? Probably. But this isn't a vision. This is just a thought. I didn't see this in the future. It's possible that Americans will finally realize what's going on and stand up for the Constitution and what have you. Do you want to make changes to it? Okay, let's make some changes to it. You want to restrict law enforcement. Let's do some things, but let's do it the right way. Not by some Hitler-esque moron getting elected president and threatening all our lives. Okay, listen, I'm going to go live with this video sometime today, probably in the late afternoon. Not this particular video, but a video like it. I want to see what other information I can gather at the time and get specific dates to everything I'm saying. And I'll have a comment on my blog on what is it, name of the blog? Oh, floundersgreatadventure.com. I'll have I might do a live video on Facebook. The last time I tried it, my equipment didn't match up. I use a different operating system. I don't use Windows, so it's I use Linux operating system, so it's a little different. And sometimes I have problems getting stuff to work where it's supposed to work. I don't really care about that too much. We'll go into that at another time if we are able to. But in the meantime, listen. Do I wish that RFK had been a more reasonable individual and we would have had three people to choose from as opposed to, at that time, Biden and Trump? I wasn't voting for president until Harris came in. And the reason was simply Biden was too old. Now, I don't want to vote for Trump. I wouldn't vote for Trump if he was the last living being on this earth, okay? Other than me. So anyhow, I gotta go and I'll talk to you guys later.